Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how you make your observations on the Budburst website. So up until this point we have been collecting data for Project Budburst. Just as a reminder, the project is a citizen science project, which is where we are having everyday citizens come together and gather data and then report that data and put it into a collection. And we're specifically, once again, looking at specific life cycle events for flowering plants. So the idea is, when do we see the leaves coming out in the spring and the flowers? When do we see the fruits forming? At what time of the year are the leaves changing color and are they falling off the tree? So all of the timing of these, what we call phenophases, are important. And what scientists are trying to determine is they're trying to determine if climate change is impacting the timing of these important events, because there's a close evolutionary relationship between flowering plants and their pollinators. So a plant wouldn't want to put its flowers out and ready to be pollinated until insects emerge in the spring that are actually able to pollinate those flowers. So if the flowers open too early, they're going to miss that window of opportunity when those insects are available and active to actually start pollinating flowers. So it's important for us to understand what, if any, are the consequences of this changing climate that we see on this whole process. So what you've done this semester is you have collected data. So what we're going to do now is we're going to enter all of that data onto the Budburst website so that they can put it in their collection and it can actually be analyzed. So we're going to click on the link here and go to budburst.org. And I have assigned each section of the class a specific username and password. So please note that the username that you are seeing right now on the document is going to be different depending on which section of the class that you're in. So please don't use this information from this video unless you are in this group. And again, your document will give you the correct information. So then let me just again copy and paste from here. And I apologize for the somewhat random password. This is something that the system assigned me. I had no choice on this. They assigned it for me. All right, so we're going to go ahead and hit login. And it's going to take us to your group. So again, everyone who's in your section of the class, you're all in the same group together. Okay, so here we are. This is our group. You're going to click on this group link right here. It's going to take you to your active group, which is Bio 104 Fall 2020. You're going to click on this picture. And then it says no observations have been submitted for this group. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit new. And you're going to click on the only option, which is phenology observation. And here's where you're going to get started. So you're going to select photos of your plant. And again, you may have only taken photos initially at the very beginning of the observations in order to help you identify the plant. If you took a picture of the plant every time you went out and made an observation, that's great, but you didn't necessarily have to. So you would upload any pictures you have here. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to put what plant you observed. So again, depending on what you observed. So let's see, I started with a white oak this semester. So let's put in white oak. So there's my white oak. All right, so that's, I think in my very first video that I gave you all an example of what to do for your observation, I had a white oak that I was looking at. So where did you make your observation? You have to put in your location. So, and that way, every time you do it, you'll do it the same way. So you can search by address. You can also put in your longitude and latitude, because remember I had you guys record that information, your longitude and latitude, so you can do that way. I'm just going to put in Harper College, for example. And let's see if that comes up. Palatine, Illinois. Okay, so it did 1200 West Algonquin Road, Palatine, Illinois. So that would be the location that I'm going to choose for this one. And I would just hit save. Again, your observation will be the same every single time because you observed the same tree. So you can name this whatever you want. I might name this Harper, for example. You could name yours Home or whatever you want to do. You don't have to give your plant a nickname if you want. Select the date in which you made your first observation. So I'm going to go back to one of those first observations we did that was kind of around August 24th. And then again, let's go ahead and take a look at the phenophases that we're looking at. So at that time of year, all of the leaves were unfolded, right? There were no flowers at the time. There were no fruits at the time. There was no leaf change at the time, and there was no leaf dropping at the time. Okay, so if you had any other observations about your observation, you could do that here, and then you would enter all of this information, and then you would hit Save Observation. So again, make sure that you are checking the appropriate things for phenophases, right? So obviously all the leaves were unfolding. Flowers and fruits were kind of depending on your flower. What probably is going to change is your autumn leaf color and your autumn leaves dropping. That's going to be mostly what you're going to see. And then when you're all finished, you're going to hit Save Observation. And then it saved it. Okay, so it says here in Harper College, here's your current observation, other observations. It gives you a nice little map of what you've done. You can go ahead and click back here to observations, and here's yours. What I'd like you to do is, after you have completed all 3 of your observations and submitted them as part of this process, I want you to go ahead and screenshot this page for me so that I know that you submitted your observations. So that pretty much does it for the lab this week. So you're going to do those observations. You're going to answer a few questions. These were the questions that actually I think some of these were from like the very first document that I put up about information about Budburst, and some of you already answered these and you're like, what do I do with this information? And I said, hold on to it. Now you're actually going to submit it to me. And I believe that should do it for this week. If you guys have any other questions, as always, please let me know.